long do we think we have until this headband gives me a headache? Okay, hello. I spent the last 2 weeks and some change vlogging what I've been doing. So we're gonna walk you through that today. It is Valentine's Day when I'm recording this, since the nails and the red shirt. Happy Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day because everything is pink and red. That's why I love February. Everything is pink and red the whole month, and it's just the best thing in the world to me. The first thing I did was I reorganized my bookshelf. It doesn't look all that different, and I spent almost an hour doing it. Hello. Welcome to another vlog, but the lighting is bad because we're about to reorganize my whole bookshelf and it's nighttime. So I need some light in this space. But it's 6:05 on Wednesday, January 28th. It's been a long day, but I want to reorganize this for a few reasons. One, because I'm going to get rid of this series because I don't need that in the back of my videos anymore for reasons that you can Google yourself. And then I'm going to move these over there. This is how it's categorized. Fantasy and then sci-fi, but all of my sci-fi is like YA low-key, so it bleeds into YA. Then we have YA dystopian. This is all YA. This also needs to be a little bit more reorganized. So, and then this is where my general fiction starts. And then around here we get into some classics, and then we have a couple horror ones. And then this goes into my nonfiction. And then my very few poetry books are right there. And then we have this. These are my gay shelves. I'm currently reading Heated Revelry, so I'll have to performatively put that up in a little bit. And then this is romance, and then this is like dark romance, and then like bad romance. But I need to move these books to YA because I'm gonna make more room over there. There were some ups and downs for sure. I was very tired while I was doing it also, if you can't tell by the footage. Yeah, and then everything on top is just decoration. We're not touching that. But we do have to touch the decorations here, like on these parts of the shelves. So this little like palm reader hand thing and some crystals. So, what just happened? Did anything happen just now? Am I losing it? Period. Okay, that's fun. I should have taken it before and after. Damn it. Look at these chess pieces. Me and my friends, when we were visiting family, we went on a walk and we found this like busted ass chess set, and a bunch of the pieces were already taken, so we took more pieces. I took the rooks from both sides. I was gonna take more, but I decided I didn't need that many. Oh, and then I have this little guy that I got a white elephant exchange with my besties. Is he from Rick and Morty? I've never like actually paid attention to Rick and Morty. I just know it's funny when I am watching it. I haven't added Persuasion to the stack because it needs to go on the bottom. But sometimes you just have to go and read Mr. Captain Wentworth's letter to Anne. You know what I mean? I am half agony, half hope. This book... So that's why I haven't stacked this. I feel like the main thing that changed is the way that the I Am Number 4 series looks. And then I just actually organize my queer shelf instead of it being... I didn't realize it was unorganized. And then I was like, those are not in any sort of order. Oh wait, this isn't... Okay, this is more like sad MLM. Wait, no, actually, this isn't organized at all, I'm realizing. So let's fix that. Hang on. I thought it went MLM and then Sapphic and then... I don't know what I was thinking, actually. But we're just gonna take all of these down. I do need to read more Sapphic books. I have Yerba Buena on hold for me at Barnes & Noble right now. So, at least there's that. I will say a few of these books are performative too because I don't like them very much, but they're still here because I don't want to get rid of the gay book. That feels homophobic. But, okay. So, hey. No! My Apple Pencil is trying to fall under my bed right now. Okay, sorry if the angle's different. Because my whole thing just... Please stop it! Why is it falling down? Definitely pissed me off towards the end, that's for sure. I don't want to film this video anymore. So yeah, I did that. And you know what? I am quite pleased though. Except it's all gonna have to move again so soon because every day I'm finishing a book. Not every day. It feels like it. Okay, the next thing I did was I started reading the entirety of the Game Changer series, which is what Heated Rivalry is from, instead of just reading Heated Rivalry and the Long Game. Boy, that has been a ride. As of today, I just finished Role Model last night and I'm gonna reread the Long Game. Video on all 6 of the books coming soon. Don't worry. But here's a clip of me before work being pissed off that I had to go to work instead of finishing Game Changers, which is the story about Scott and Kip. Okay, so I don't have time for this, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm getting ready for work, and I'm reading Game Changers, which is the first book in the Heated Rivalry series. A lot of people weren't liking this book and whatever, so my expectations were low. Why is it better than Heated Rivalry? Sue me. It literally is. Like, I think the story of Heated Rivalry is better, like, obviously, like, it's so good. But this book is so much better. Like, I think Scott and Kip are more well written than Shane and Ilya, which Shane is still my favorite character of all of this, but like, and it's way less cringy. Like, the amount of times that, like, I reread Heated Rivalry the other day, and that shit's so cringy. Like, and I don't know why we're acting like it isn't. And I'm not the biggest romance fan. Like, I read a lot of romance, but it takes a lot for me to be like, that was a good book. So I was never, like, Heated Rivalry was never going to be my favorite book. It was never going to be a good book to me. And that's, like, totally fine. Game Changers is good. Like, it really is. And, like, it's so sweet. It's got me smiling. My jaw's on the floor. And it's so good. Maybe it's because, like, we were only given so much about Scott and Kip. But I freaking am loving this book. Like, I'm so pissed that I have to go to work right now. And I have stuff to do later, too. Like, I'm mad that I can't finish it. Like, I mean, I might try to finish it tonight, even though I should do some readings for class. But this is a really good book. And I am really mad at everybody for keeping me from reading it for so long. But this is good. I'm gonna go to work now. That was quite the revelation to be like, wait, this is really good, because I didn't particularly love the Heated Rivalry book or the Long Game. And my opinion has not changed. I still think that they are not the best books in the series. Again, I'm going to do a whole video on this. Currently, my ranking is Role Model, Tough Guy, Game Changers, Heated Rivalry, Long Game, and Common Goal. In that order. Again, I'll get into that, but oh my god, Role Model was so good. So, honestly, like, in the top 5 romances I've ever read. And you know how picky I am about my romances. But anyway, the next thing I did was my bestie, Sierra, came over, which I'm going to give her a formal introduction because I literally didn't in this video until like halfway through. But so Sierra is my best friend. She's the one that I run my Bookstagram with if I'm referring to my best friend or my friend who works at Barnes & Noble. That's exactly who we're talking about. And she's finally in one of my videos. We met in high school and we became close because I bugged the shit out of her over COVID and now we're best friends. So here's that footage. Let me turn that off, actually. Okay. Wait, I have to turn these lights on.
Oh boy.
Is that less ugly?
Yeah, it just makes me look like I haven't seen the sun in 1,200 years. Sorry.
Okay, it's Monday, February 2nd. It's 5:18. We are hanging out just to read and be productive. I already did all of my school reading, so I get to just read this. This is the 3rd book in the Game Changers series. I think I'm going to do a video on all the Game Changers books.
This is the only one on the cover where I'm like, this man is getting called a slur by his peers.
Yeah, no, definitely. He hates hockey players. His name's Fabian. This is Ryan Price.
Why is he wearing tights?
Okay, you know what's funny is, like, he's just like a musician. Like, I don't know why he's dressed like that. But the reason I want to do a video is because this is also really good so far, but, like, Rachel Reed just chooses to talk about things in ways that she doesn't need to, that I like literally can't say on the internet. Like, I'll tell you about it when we're done filming this. And then this isn't related to what I'm reading anymore, but I wanted to show you this. So I was reading this for class.
I hated that book.
Well, we didn't read all of it, and part of it is because, so this is about a slave. Is her name Linda?
I think so.
Yeah, but part of this book, this is written as like a memoir, but part of this book is like edited and written by this like white abolitionist lady, and it's like quite ambiguous of like how much she wrote and how much she didn't. So like you'll read a banger line and then you're like, well, who wrote it? The slave or the white lady?
So I read it in middle school, and I remember like telling my mom.
You were reading that in middle school?
I was in the GT program. Where they
Sorry, my mom didn't let me be in the GT program.
I remember telling my mom, like, I hate this book. It's written so bad. And my mom was like, she was a slave. So, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, I'm 12. Like, I don't, like, no, but there's, like, some really good lines. And then you're just like, well, who wrote that? And you don't even get to enjoy it. Like, this is my favorite line. Because, like, a lot of this book is about how, like, slavery is worse for women because they're women. And it says, if God has bestowed beauty upon her, it'll prove her greatest curse. But, like, did she write that? Do you know what I mean? So every 4 seconds.
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I got this as, like, secondhand from the school. So it's, like, annotated by somebody else already. And it's obviously, but look, there's, like, a reading log in it.
Oh, that's cute.
Incidents of the Life of a Slave Girl, reading schedule 2012. I'm reading this in 2026. How old were we? What year did you read it in middle school? How old were we? Like 2017?
We were a freshman in 2017.
Oh,
I
so
read
maybe
it.
like
Yeah, maybe like 2015.
Yeah. So this was even before Sierra read it, and I just think it's. Oh, this is Sierra. You've never been in one of my YouTube videos. I talk about you all the time, though.
I'm the person that
She's
like,
the best friend. Yes, she's the best friend that I'm always talking about. I just realized that. I just decided that everybody knew you. But yeah, I thought this was really sweet. And then I showed it to one of the girls in my class today, and she's like, I was like, I just love humans and like the fact that I don't know how many people read this. And she was like, you know that Kamala Harris quote where it's like, you exist in which of all the context before you?
Yes.
And I was like, what are you reading?
This is my book. That's enough. I taped it
Well,
together.
explain why you're reading it, because one, Sean probably isn't gonna watch this video, and two, it's probably gonna come out after Valentine's Day.
Okay. This is my boyfriend's favorite book, which he's really embarrassed about because it's like that.
He should be embarrassed.
He's a pretentious man. But anyway, I'm trying to read it, and I've been trying to read it
since we
literally
got together.
Started dating, and I'm this far, and I'm trying to finish it before Valentine's Day.
We'll
so
show
that
the
I can,
footnotes and shit.
I can bind him a new copy. Yeah, it's 1,000 pages, and then there's also 100 pages of footnotes that you have to like
go and read while you're reading,
and
it.
then the footnote. You know how a footnote works.
What's
it
about again? I don't even remember.
There's a tennis academy, and then there's like a rehab like halfway house for drug addicts, and it goes back and forth between those two things.
Random. Tennis halfway house.
And that's like the most simplistic answer I can give.
How are you going to finish this in 12 days?
I don't know.
Like, you're a teacher.
I'm not doing
And you have
job.
another job.
I'm not doing
Are you annotating it? Or is just the pen there for looks?
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't seem to be. Like,
well, you're passing on the annotations. I'm not annotating every page.
Okay.
It's 1,000 pages.
I know.
So
I understand. I just like. Anyway, whatever. So I'm gonna be reading this, and she's gonna be doing whatever the hell that is. So.
There.
Okay, I didn't say I didn't believe you. Like, okay, whatever. Goodbye. Yeah, most of the time when Sierra and I hang out, we're reading, doing homework. She's working because she's a teacher. Also, she works at Barnes & Noble and she's a teacher. And so I'm usually doing homework or something, and she's like doing lesson plans or something important. We don't hang out very much, and I tell that to people, and they're like, well, what do you do when you do hang out? And I'm like, oh, we like usually are just sitting and reading or something. And every time, like, I understand how dorky that sounds, but every time I have to be like, guys, are you really making fun of me for reading right now? Let's get a grip, please. I was feeling quite overwhelmed with my schoolwork, so I decided to like verbally process it, and in the means of explaining it to the internet, apparently. So here's a little catch up on what I'm doing for school. Okay, hello. I wanted to update you on what I'm doing for school. Also, this is hot water. Shout out Chinese medicine going viral on TikTok. Drinking hot water every morning has changed my life. I've been meaning to look into Chinese medicine for so long, but it's so much that I was like, I don't even know what to ask. Like, so we're starting with the hot water. But what am I doing for school? Currently, I'm working on the beginning stages of a lit review that I have to do. Which, if you don't know what lit review is, because I just found out what it is. By the way, I'm a senior in college. Don't know how I've managed to not have to do a lit review thus far, but I'm glad I haven't. A lit review is when you read a bunch of stuff on the same topic and see how they, like, converse with each other, and if they do, and if there's any gaps in research and stuff. And my topic, I think I've narrowed it down, is on the rhetoric of race in America. And this is like roughly based off of a past assignment we had to do. That assignment that I like got inspired from was my response paper to Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe and Zora Neale Hurston's idea of like the exceptional Black person. That's a lot, but and look at me using my college knowledge. But that's how I got to this. Was I was like, no, we need to talk about the rhetoric of race, and then we're narrowing it down to in America specifically. So quite different from what I was originally going to do. I was originally going to talk about colonialism specifically, which you can't really talk about race without talking about colonialism, so it's like still part of it. But the first article I read, I need to have 4 articles done and read and compared and synthesized by Tuesday. I have one done and I'm in the middle of reading another one. The first one I did was actually really interesting. This is great because I've been having a hard time with class because I am not enjoying my classes. I'm not liking anything we're being given to read, and that's just like not great for me because I really love school and I was really looking forward to the semester. So I was like, hate this. But now I get to like kind of pick what I'm reading. So the first thing I read was, what's it called? What has Barack Obama's election victory got to do with race? A closer look at post-racial rhetoric and its implication for anti-racism education. So what it's about is when Obama got elected, a lot of Americans and like Canadians were like, look at, we're entering this post-racial era. And then they were horrifically racist to Obama, which like, duh. And I personally haven't done a major deep dive into the impact that Obama being Black had on like America, because I was a small child when he was elected and I was still a small child when he left office. Like, I wasn't even 12 yet when the 2016 elections happened. So it was nice to read this as an adult and understand that I understood the weight of it more than I thought I did as a child. Like, you don't really give kids credit for that, but like, we were always told about racism and stuff, and they were like, oh my god, look at this first African-American president. And it specifically talked about like the people who were convinced that he was born in Kenya or Indonesia, but he was born in Hawaii, or the people that were like really ramming in on the fact that his parents were Muslim. And I'm like, girl, I cannot imagine being an adult in that time. Like, that was crazy. And then the one I'm reading right now is about the rhetoric of white Americans adopting Asian children under the notion that you're like saving them from something. Which I'm only like a few pages into it. Also really interesting. I picked a great topic is all I gotta say, but I don't know how I'm not gonna get extremely invested into every single one of these articles, because everyone's like, oh, skim them. I don't skim. Fun fact, I either read the whole thing or I don't read it at all. So you'll never catch me skimming something. And all of these are like minimum 20 pages, and I have to have 15 total by the end of this lit review. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing for that. And then my other major assignments coming up are for my writing about science class. We have to like pick, it's a small group project. We have to like pick a topic and then see how experts in that field are talking to each other about it. My group chose measles and the measles vaccine, so that's fun. I just haven't looked into it yet. And then I have to soon get started on my fiction piece for my fiction writing class. As of right now, the topic I'm brainstorming is something along the lines of the way women are expected to bear children, But that might be a lot to write about, considering the fact that I'm also talking about race rhetoric and colonialism and measles. And also in my American autobiography class, we're reading about a girl who was a slave. So, maybe not, but I am still reading the Game Changer series. I'm on Role Model, which is about Troy Bennett and Eric Bennett. I don't know their names. Anyway, that's my update on what I'm doing for class, because I feel like people think that English majors do a whole lot of nothing, which sometimes it feels like that, but this feels like a whole lot of something. Cheers to hopefully school starts getting better and I hate it less, because I'm having a bad time right now, to be so honest. Something that I was also doing for school, but also, you guys know, I make bread and I sell bread. And I did something really fun for my writing about science class that involved bread. So here's that. Okay, hello, we're in my living room. I'm doing something kind of insane and I wanted to tell you about it. So, what? Heated Rivalry was on. I don't know what just happened. So I am in a writing about science class. It's like science rhetoric and how science used to be done before we knew anything. Like science, like my professor keeps saying science very much used to be like, oh, let's go blow shit up in our backyard. And then that's how that happened. And that's basically how science used to be done. And so right now we're looking at the way observations were done, like at the beginning of the Royal Society. Is that what it's called? The Royal Society? Which was, back then it was just a bunch of rich white men making observations and thinking they were doing science. Anyway, we have to do our own observations on something. That is like basically the only direction we have. And we have to like discuss it the way that they did in the beginning of the Royal Society. And she said, have as much or as little fun as you want. And that was all the instruction we had. So the insane thing I am doing is making a bad loaf of bread on purpose. And I'm making a good loaf of bread, and I'm going to bring them to class. And my observations are, the story I'm making up for it, which I don't even know if you have to make up a story, but the story I'm making up for it is I was rushed to make bread for a gathering as some lady in the whatever teen hundreds. I don't know, before they really knew how bread works. I don't know when they really figured out what was going on with bread. I'm not a bread historian. I'm making a normal loaf of bread to bring to feed to my classmates, and then the other loaf of bread is hopefully going to come out really flat, and I'm going to like compare it to the normal loaf of bread that has a bunch of bubbles and smells really good and has a good spring to it. And then I'm like, how did this happen? It's gonna happen because I'm not gonna let the dough proof or rise at all. Yeah, I'm doing the opposite of what I've been trying not to do for the last few months of making bread, and that is making a bad loaf of bread on purpose. Again, kind of insane. I wasn't gonna do it. I literally said to my roommate this morning, like, is this embarrassing? And then I was like, no, I'd rather be the most entertaining person in the room than the most boring one. So, but let me show you the other bread I have going right now. I'm making 6 loaves of bread right now, and I have to make 2 more tomorrow. I made 2 double chocolate loaves of bread. Like, half of one of these is for me, the other half is for my brother, and then one is for my friend. And then I have 2 plain loaves of bread going for coworkers and friends right now. And then one of these is gonna be the bad loaf of bread. I haven't decided which one yet, because one of them has to be good. Because again, I'm gonna bring a loaf to bring to people to feed. I also just like needed an excuse to feed more people my bread. So I will be back once I bake the messed up loaf of bread. Okay, I'm about to put this loaf of bread in. Has not risen, but at all. Okay, what I'm doing is insane, and I know that, but it's all for school and for the fun of the game, right? I just like, why would I choose to do a boring assignment when I could make a messed up loaf of bread? I'm gonna put that in. We're gonna start with 20 minutes and see what happens. I'm very, very excited to see how this turns out. But here's my other loaves of bread cooling down. I need to get more cooling racks because there's a cooling rack with 2 loaves. That one's on a colander and that one's just on the table. So, have you seen the memes, the Heated Rivalry memes, where it's like a colander and people are like, they say it in a Russian accent, they're like, colander? Like the way that Ilya says Hollander, it's really funny. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Let's see what this looks like. It needs to be flat because I already did my assignment as if it did come out flat. And I'd like to not redo it. So, oh my god, it looks so bad. That's so funny. Oh my god. Look how flat it is. Can you even tell? Ooh, it feels horrible too. Okay, here's our final reveal of the wacky bread. Dun, 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 dun. And then finally, I hung out with Sierra again last night, and she was binding a book for today, for her boyfriend to give to him today. Today is Valentine's Day. She was in fact up till 2:23 a.m. That's when she texted me that she was done with it. And I went over there, I did some homework, I finished reading Role Model, and we watched a couple of the Heated Rivalry edits that her roommate and our friend Christian made. So here's that footage also. Okay, I'm with Sierra again. This is great. We never see each other this much. Bella, say hi.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I'm rebinding this book,
Same book.
which I didn't finish, by the way. But maybe.
It's okay. And then I just finished Role Model by Rachel Reed. This is the best one in the series, and dare I say, one of the best romances I've ever read.
Wow.
Which is shocking considering how horrible Heated Rivalry is. Can't believe it's the same author. How are you binding it? Tell them about it. You can't just be
So
silent.
I read the whole thing, and I just finished copying all my annotations into the book. So now I'm a little scared because the spine's bent, but whatever. And it's gonna be this color, blue. These green pages.
And
haven't designed
Valentine's
the
Day is tomorrow, by the way. So this is Christian, and he makes edits, and he's gonna show us a Heated Rivalry edit to Illicit Affairs.
Hi, girls.
So
Be seated.
here, give me that.
Let's see if I remember to do this.
Yeah. Say hi. This is person. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
You wanna swing, language I can't speak with anyone else.
Oh.
You know damn well
You need to be
for you I would run.
This slow fucking hockey player with beautiful freckles.
Yes. Oh my god, that was really good.
What do you mean?
Good. It's good.
You don't need a whole lot of time to have an impactful edit.
I'm always saying that.
So
I'd like to put on a 2 minute.
2 minute.
45
no, that's fine.
Shane Hollander, I
You have
wanted
no
to
idea how
introduce myself.
often I go on this.
Bro, sometimes I freaking hate it.
I know. We talked about that. You just need to keep reposting it until it gets what it deserves.
I win one stupid fucking thing. You couldn't even show your face down there. What was that? No different thing is about you, Hollander.
Oh, so good, bro.
Everyone say thank you for your service. But anyway, it's been a really busy couple of weeks, but it's also been a great couple of weeks. We've had our ups and downs, that's for sure. But I wanted to give a little bit of a final update on what I'm doing for my classes as of right now until the next vlog or whatever I decide to do. Last night, I started the assignment where I had to do a close reading of anything I wanted. So of course we did My Policeman. And the part that I'm doing specifically is when Patrick finds out about Marion for the first time. It's very good. I'm actually really excited to do this presentation. So I did come up with a couple questions. If you don't know what My Policeman is about, because I keep saying I'm going to do a deep dive on this book, but every time I think about doing it, I literally am like, I cannot take that amount of energy and put it into something that is not school and work right now, because this book makes me insane. I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna try and finish The Woman Warrior for my American Autobiography class. I have to have it finished by Wednesday, but I'm probably gonna try and finish it tomorrow. We only need to read the first part and the last part, but it's really good, so I'm reading the whole thing. I'm like 100 pages into it. It's like 250 pages, give or take. But did I tell you guys about this book at all? It's for my American Autobiography class, and she assigned us like a bunch of books as I explained in my last video, and then we only have to read parts of them. I'm like, you made me buy. She also specified that she would like for us to have the physical copies for us to not read the whole thing. So, but it's okay, it's pink. Whatever. But yeah, so that was my last 2 weeks. I had a really good time filming all of it. So I feel like it kind of forces me to be a little bit more productive because I'm like, I have to have stuff for the video if I'm filming a video, obviously. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know what else to say. So, I don't know. Did you like this video? You should like and subscribe anyway.